Okay, a couple of ways to sensitize yourself for the assessment is the easiest way is to go to jockey position. So when you bring your knees up over the saddle and you lean forward on your hands, you're taking your legs and arms out of the equation. And so when you do that, if you divide your saddle into 4 quadrants and you look for a little bubble of pressure that's about the size of a quarter, which quadrant of your saddle has more pressure by comparison to the others? Left rear. Okay, so that's where you're going to target your torso weight. And as you change direction, does it change? Because it can change from a straight line to a right turn to a left turn. But feel with your legs up how fast it does change, right? Because I think he's not stuck anymore. I just think he's not yet balanced, right? So when I look at him, I see the saddle, the back of the saddle mostly pushing against you as opposed to the front. And right now it looks like it could be right for a few strides and then left, and then right and then left. And that's what it feels like as they're equalizing the weight more left to right, but they're having a hard time engaging the hindquarters. That's exactly what it feels like. And notice when you get your weight right in the right place, he's like, I can't move. That's very normal. So now let your legs dangle without the stirrups. And one of the things to also, like from legs up to legs dangling, you're not going to use your legs for anything but a forward aid. So you're not going to use them for turning. You're just going to use the reins for steering, and you're going to let your legs dangle. And this is where you can listen to the intelligence of your body. So with your legs dangling, you can look down at your own thigh bones to see if they're symmetrical to each other. If one's higher or farther forward, that's where you need the weight to go. Because we tighten our legs unconsciously. So if you start listening and comparing one leg to the other, you might start to notice instant tightening or shortening on one leg, and the other one feels longer. So there on a left turn, that bubble of pressure came up on the left back quadrant of the saddle. You felt that? Okay. So listening to the intelligence of your legs is what will help your brain adjust. Your legs know the truth about your relationship to gravity better than your brain does. So your one leg, will instantly tighten if your weight becomes unequal over gravity on a moving force that's happening every stride. You feel that? The other thing to check where we feel the horse separate from ourselves is your weight distribution equal between your seat and your thighs? Or with your legs dangling, it can be between your seat and your whole leg. So do you have more of your body weight in your seat compared to your legs, or more body weight in your legs compared to your seat? And if he stops, just take a minute to feel that in yourself.
I mean, I feel like the heaviness is in my seat on the left when he's...
Because sometimes we can feel ourselves instead of the horse. So one of the things I do to know that I'm vertical is I check my own weight distribution between my seat and my legs. So if you lean forward like a little two-pointy, you feel, and do it a little more till you feel the weight come out of your seat and go into your legs. Make your legs heavier than your seat for a little bit. because you'll see on the video that your habit is to put a little extra weight in your seat compared to your legs. So if your legs are tight all the time, you don't notice the left to right changes. Does that make sense? So there,
Emphasizing the seat because of where that knot is, or that quarter, or whatever.
yes, it sensitizes your seat. So that's why the legs up only takes a minute, because it takes arms and legs out of the equation. But as soon as we let our legs hang again, it's really easy to put too much weight in your seat.
Okay.
So with my legs dangling, I'm gonna rock my torso forward and back until I feel the weight automatically equalize between my seat and legs. And if you need to, you can rock to kind of feel how that works. Every time you take the shoulders forward, weight comes out of the seat and goes into the legs. Every time you take the torso backwards, the weight comes out of the legs and goes to the seat.
Okay, yeah, way more in my seat before.
Yeah, and it was just normal for you, so your brain didn't recognize it. But now as you're feeling your body, you start to recognize where your own body weight is. And this is super important, because when our body weight is more in our seat or too much in our stirrups, we can't feel what the horse is doing. We kind of intermingle, so we can't really feel that bubble of pressure very clearly, because we're kind of at the mercy of it. Yeah. So now with your weight equalized and your legs dangling with some weight, there's different ways we recognize tension in one leg compared to the other. We might feel an inward grip. We might feel one leg is longer and the other one's getting shorter. We might feel an upward pull. We might lift our toes or tighten our calves. It's like the body automatically responds to your weight being unequal left to right over gravity. So if your weight's a little too far left, your right side's gonna tighten automatically. So feeling the left to right balance of the horse is the tricky part, because we're all right-handed, left-handed. So I listen to my legs to tell me the truth. I listen to my weight distribution between my seat and my legs to tell me when I'm vertical, because my brain can't find it when I change horses, change saddles, or when the horse changes coordination. We can't really trust our brain's sense of being vertical. Because sometimes when my weight's equal between my seat and legs, I feel like I'm too far forward, or I feel like I'm too far back. And when one leg tightens, that's where you need to shift extra weight. And your brain will say, you're gonna fall off left, you're gonna fall off right, right? And then you don't, so the brain will adapt very rapidly. But you're really listening to the body to get the idea. Yeah. So as you equalize your weight between the seat and the leg, that puts you in a true vertical relationship with gravity. And that helps you feel when the horse is pushing on you left to right. You feel that? And when you're vertical, now can you feel the front two quadrants of the saddle? There's just no horse. There's no pressure. Feels empty. The back two halves of the saddle have the most amount of pressure, right? But he's at a place where it's kind of moving. And this is what happens as you improve coordination and balance and weight distribution. That little slippery bubble is wildly unpredictable in a body. Because we have no idea how this individual horse is going to change coordination. We only know what ideal coordination is. But every body can come up with a million different ways to be dysfunctional. So we got no idea how he's gonna put these puzzle pieces together. Good. And whether you have to give, like, refrain from using your legs at all, unless he loses forward and you need a leg aid for forward. Just steer with the reins and keep shifting your weight over that moving target, over that little bubble of pressure that's somewhere in the back half of the saddle all the time. But it changes when we change direction. It's different when we go straight or a right turn or left turn. The interesting part is whatever it's doing at the walk is not going to change if we went to trot or canter. It's only going to be stronger. It's still going to do the same thing because the coordination is the same when you change speed, but changing direction alters the coordination. Yeah. Yeah. And the more you get the feel and the timing, and keep checking your weight between your seat and your legs, because when he makes a mistake, you tend to revert to weight in your seat. So just check that in yourself every few minutes. Yeah, so now he's exploring. This is the part where if you keep the neck straight and you balance your weight, no matter what he throws at you, he cannot avoid changing. He's figuring it out, but at first he says, this is a dumb idea. Why should I change? Just like our brains, right? It's not that different. Okay, he's stalking me, so go ahead and steer.
Trick number 2.
Yeah. So with your weight precisely over that little bubble of pressure as it moves, it's a moving target. And what you're doing is shifting more weight over it, really so that you don't move. So when we nail it with a horse, we look like we're not moving at all. Inside, we're shifting weight all over the place, right? We're constantly adjusting muscle tone and weight shifts. But I know when the rider has got it because I can't see your pelvis and torso move anymore, right? And I don't see the legs and arms tighten. Yeah. And the better you get at it, the slower he goes, because you're now putting weight where he is not. So you're creating the resistance so that he can learn to shift his weight right where yours is. And so you're kind of spotting him until he changes his coordination. Yeah. And all horses go this slow when they're changing coordination, sometimes slower. But if they're not stopping, I got something to work with. And even at halt, weight is still shifting and muscle tone is still changing. Right? So it doesn't matter if we're at in a cloud of turtle dust at the walk or if we're at halt. So even at halt, before you give a leg aid, feel where your weight needs to be all the time. Yeah, so he halts in order to move you. You feel that? He halts in order to get you off of his little private secret spot. So you go, okay, let me get forward, but with my weight precisely in the right location. Yeah. And as horses are restoring function to a very dysfunctional, weak hindquarter, probably with arthritis in the joints and all of that, they all slow down in order to balance. And once they get comfortable and they get the hang of carrying their weight in the right place and change their coordination, the other side of that is power and agility, right? But just like an athlete learning, it's like you don't learn by going fast. You learn by going slow. And he's probably a bit weak where he should be strong. But even like the most fit, strongest, talented horses go about this slow when you're changing coordination. It's absolutely normal. And when we're changing coordination, we go this slow too. Yeah, so there, you feel how he pushes? Like he uses, horses know exactly where the rider is at all times. They can't get away from your body weight. So when he goes, this is hard, he's kind of stopping to get you off of that spot. Yeah, because now he kind of has to change coordination. Your weight in the right place is also making that compensatory extra muscle tension wickedly uncomfortable for him. So he goes, how do I get relief? That's what he's looking for right now. How do I get relief? And that means he has to change his coordination and shift some body weight in order to get relief. So I go, it's just a matter of time and steps. They all do it. Yeah, and just watch that your weight doesn't fall into your seat. Especially because you're aiming at the back half of the saddle. When I do that, I have to constantly make sure my legs aren't lifting, that they still have a good amount of weight. So if he turns suddenly, just keep the neck straight and follow where your weight needs to be. This is something he can't get away from. And it, like I said, it's all physics. It's all physics. So we're letting him change the mechanics by working with weight and force. Yeah, it's very effective, especially when you nail it. And so he goes, man, this is hard. I got to figure this out. And there's that weakness of the right hind that we know is there, right? But now he's figuring out, it's like the cast came off the leg. But he goes, it's a little unsteady back there. Yeah. So he'll get more comfortable, less comfortable, more comfortable, less comfortable. He'll try to avoid, and then he'll feel some relief. And so you really start to feel the coordination changing the more you nail precisely where your body weight needs to be, no matter what he throws at you. Yeah. And sometimes I think they're exploring, and sometimes I wonder if they're avoiding, but it doesn't matter. Oh, there's a little bit of relief. So that blowing is a sign that we're on the right track, no matter how slow or tedious it feels. Just keep going. Steer with the reins, listen to your legs, and keep adjusting your own body weight against that point of pressure. And it certainly has his attention, doesn't it? Like he's not getting distracted at all because he can feel what you're doing all the time. And when you're changing coordination, especially rehabbing dysfunction, every step counts. Very good. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video here. My hand's getting tired.